People are constantly pushed to their limits. Chances are each and every one of you will at some point in your life hit a wall created by some physical challenge. But how we react to this wall and overcome it, as well as how we mentally change after attacking this challenge, is what defines us as people.
All right, so what's your name?
Dan Hodak.
All right, so what was your physical endeavor that you embarked on?
I did the Death Ride, which is a endurance ride, on road ride through the Sierras, starting in Markleeville, outside of Kirkwood area, and you travel about 125 miles, and you climb about 15,000 feet of elevation change. So you're starting at about 5,500 feet elevation, and you rise to a little over 9,000 feet, five times. One, two, three, four, five times. So it's pretty grueling because you start out, it's dark out, and you took me about 10 and a half hours, and so you go through cold to warm to very warm, and then wind.
All right. So before you started the death ride, how do you mentally and physically prepare for the event?
You want to hydrate heavily for the couple days leading up to the race, because in the high elevation in the Sierras, your body dehydrates very quickly because of the elevation and the dryness of the air. So hydration is a big thing, and then diet and getting proper rest, especially the couple nights leading up to the race or the ride.
So how hard did you expect the challenge to be?
I expect it to be pretty hard. It was as hard than I thought. It's a long time to be on a bike, and your only breaks are just basically for food, water, bathroom, and then back on the bike. So I think I did 10 and a half hours of actual spinning time, and it was about 11 and a half hours or 11 hours, 45 minutes total time. So, yeah, it's a long day.
All right. So if any, at what point did you feel that you mentally could not take it anymore?
I think the going up Ebbets Pass the second time, when you climb the first time to 9,000 feet, you drop down to Hermit's Hermit Valley, and then you come back up, and that climb, when you're baking in the sun and there's no shade, and you're hitting some steep sections that are 14, 15, 16% grade, it zaps you. But fortunately, it doesn't. It's not the longest climb. So once you get to the top, then that's when you have your lunch, and you're able to kind of refuel, fill your water bottles, and kind of replenish your system.
All right. So did you ever feel like you mentally changed after the event, or like you feel like you can push yourself farther now?
Yeah, I actually do. I think that when you sort of are able to coax your body into doing things that it normally would resist, or would just not go forward with, it definitely becomes a mental thing where you have to put yourself in a place to just to keep going, and you got to kind of figure out how to pace yourself. And one of the things that makes it difficult is when you don't use the right amount of fluids. It causes your legs and things to cramp, and that feeling is really difficult to work through, because once your legs start cramping, you basically lose the strength that you need to continue up these steep climbs. So.
All right. So last question. If you were to compete again, and push your limits again, would you think about it differently or prepare differently mentally about it?
Yeah, I think what I learned from the first ride is proper hydration, and I think I didn't probably drink enough fluids the couple days leading up to the ride, and then during the ride, somebody told me that you should drink a bottle. You should be consuming about a bottle of water every hour to hour and a half, and I think I was a bottle every 3 hours or whatever. So proper hydration, and fuel. You're burning calorie. Your caloric intake is about 800 to 1,000 calories per hour. So you're burning a lot of fuel. So you need gels, you need goos, one of the things I found out that it also robs you of your potassium and your sodium. So like salty things like pretzels and V8 juice is good because there's a lot of sodium in it. And then at lunch on the second year, I had a full strength Coke, no, not Diet Coke, but with the sugars and the definitely helped kind of give my body, my legs a lift. So diet, I'd say diet is a big thing.
Thank you.
It is simple to work out on a normal basis and push yourself. But what happens when you push yourself so hard that the little voice in your head says no, and you push even past that? Before Bruce Jenner became a Kardashian, he was an Olympic runner. He once said that, "I always felt that my greatest asset was not my physical ability, it was my mental ability." What we can take from this quote is that it's not your physical abilities that limit you to achieving something. It's your mental toughness to be able to push past those types of walls.
What is your name?
Dylan Kreisman.
All right. So what was the physical endeavor that you embarked on?
I went on a 17-mile kayak ride around the Napoli coast of Kauai with you, my dad, and my brother.
Okay. How did you mentally prepare and physically prepare for this task?
Well, I thought I was in really good shape, so I didn't really do anything to prepare for this. But the day before we went on the kayak ride, we went on a 10-mile hike, and that was really, it was pretty exhausting.
Okay. So how hard did you expect the kayak ride to be?
Well, I actually only thought it was gonna be 13 miles until the tourist guide told us it was 17, but I expected it to be like very intense and brutal. I thought there was gonna be more breaks too, to be honest.
Okay. At what point did you either physically break or mentally break?
Let's see. I probably physically broke a little more than halfway there. Randomly when we were kayaking, I just threw up off the side of the kayak, and we all had to wait up for like 20 minutes. And then mentally, I honestly don't think I really mentally broke. I kind of just complained for a while of it, but it never really got to me mentally.
Once you were done, did you feel that like mentally you were changed in any way?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like I can push through like anything now that requires physical exertion or just something hard, difficult in general.
So last question. If you were to push your limits again, would you prepare for it physically or mentally any different than you did the first time?
Oh yeah, 100%. I would definitely work out at least a month and a half in advance of it, and then yeah, probably just working out, to be honest, because of football 2 years before, I kind of had just like I felt like I could have the mental toughness to push through it, but at the same time, my body just was barely able to like surpass this challenge.
All right, thanks.
So on the screen now is some pictures from my hands-on portion, which was me going to Kauai and going on a 17-mile kayak ride. Before I started it, I thought that it wouldn't be very hard. I thought that I was in well enough shape to at least complete it. I mean, I knew I'd be tired, but I didn't think it would cause any problems. But I remember, I want to say around like 12 miles in, I was looking at the coast, and I was like, "Dylan, look at this, look at that rock right there." And then about 30 minutes later, I like looked back, and the rock didn't move. And I looked at him, I'm like, "Dude, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I feel like we're just not moving. I don't think I can push myself to complete this." And there's no way to get home because it's just a coast. You have to either finish it or go back. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, like I've never hit this point where I've literally said no, I can't do it. And Dylan was just like, man, we really have like no other option. So I remember when we finally finished, I was so happy, and I was like, wow, I've never really had to push myself past that limit before, and I really felt that I accomplished something that I've never done before.